Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while addressing the India AI Impact Summit 2026, emphasized the need to democratize artificial intelligence and called for a transparent approach to data sharing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled India's MANAV vision for AI, which he described as a framework to advance humanity's welfare. He stressed that humans should not be treated as mere data points and that AI must serve as a tool for inclusion and empowerment, particularly for countries in the global south. Let me in fact go across to TV Mohandas Pai, who's the chairman of RN Capital. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the broadcast and speaking to NewsX. We appreciate your time. Sir, your first key takeaway from this AI summit. We heard the Prime Minister's speech. He spoke about MANAV vision, something that brings in a humanity into something like artificial intelligence, sir.
No, the Prime Minister has clearly said that AI is one of the biggest disruption right now happening around the world. It's going to transform the way every individual lead their lives. It can harm humanity, it can help humanity, and all of us have a duty to work together to make sure that AI is used for the benefit of everybody on the planet, and that is humanity. And to do that, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a fantastic grand vision. And I think that's very important for us to understand, because that should be the ultimate objective of any new technology and any political leader in any other country. And he has done that on a grand scale. But we need to remember there are two aspects of AI. One, the hard aspect, and other one is the impact aspect, which Prime Minister Modi has clearly articulated. On the hard aspect, we must make sure that we have the data centers here where data is done, data is stored. We have the GPUs here where we can train our own AI models. We build the large foundational models that are required to help everybody. And we make sure that too many jobs are not lost and more jobs are created. And we have to make sure that we become the global provider of AI services to the whole world, like Nandan Nilekani said in the Infosys Investor Day, and like Yan Chandra said today morning in the AI Summit. So all these things have to be done simultaneously. That requires much more investment by government and other people. That requires many more government grants to be given for making AI much more inclusive. That includes changes in education policy, etc. And the investment side, we saw Mukesh Ambani commit $110 billion, Adani $100 billion, Chandra possibly $100 billion, Google 15, 20 billion. I think between all of them would have come close to $400 billion of investment commitment in all these areas that will require more power plants, much more telecommunication, much more GPUs, many more jobs. I think both aspects have to be done, and being the statesman that he is articulated the impact part of it, but he also has in mind, I'm sure, the harder aspect of it, because we saw today that the AI advisor to the White House, Sriram, say very clearly, America is going to have the largest hyper data centers in the world. They're going to have the largest number of models in the world, and their AI first companies are going to create the apps which others are going to use, and they're going to dominate the world. He said that very clearly. So we've got to be careful we don't get taken over by any other company and we don't become a digital colony, and that also has to be done. And fortunately, we have the human capital and the thinking and the ability to do that.
In fact, sir, that's something that the Prime Minister has also spoken about. He does not want the global south to just become mere data points. He has said that we need to make sure that we innovate, that we become leaders, that we are seeing a lot of obviously investments coming in as well. So we saw announcements from Microsoft, we saw Google, which is planning to build this massive, duct with India, join India for data and AI. So we're looking at a lot of investments, sir. But when we talk about democratization of AI, that's something that India has to obviously work towards.
That is true. Democratization means that every individual in this country will be able to use AI. AI will be used in administration to better our lives. AI will be used in doing many things to make us much more productive. How do you make sure that AI apps are used by everybody in this country, right? Now we got to tag it to Jio, we got to tag it to Airtel to make sure it comes as apps. How do you make sure that the AI used by people doesn't cost them too much? We got to come with a subscription model, and Mukesh Ambani has said Jio will provide that kind of costing to be done, and for that we need a back-end hyper server activity to be done. If we don't build the server capacity, how can millions and crores of people start using it? I think a lot of work has to be done, a lot of use cases have to be done, a lot of startups have to come to democratize, a lot of investment has to happen. And that's where government investment comes in. Last year, China spent $135 billion on AI, $39 billion in the government. And America is spending about $700 billion among the top 5 companies who are building their own data centers and hyper cloud and doing many things. Google is spending $175 billion, and government of India is spending $1.5 billion spread over 5 years. Every year, government of India, state government should spend 40 to 50,000 crores on innovation. Right now, they're spending very much less. My state of Karnataka is hardly spending anything, with the chief minister abusing all of us, saying that, what happened there is not make in India, fake in India, abusing those people who have gone there from Karnataka, who are a large part of the AI crowd in the summit. Right? We need better thinking from our political leaders. And the government of India, state government spend 10 lakh crores in subsidies every single year. Government of India, 4 lakh crores. Why can't they spend 40, 50,000 crores led by state, government of India, states like Karnataka, states like Telangana, states like Delhi and Haryana, Maharashtra. We got to spend that kind of money. Otherwise, empty rhetoric will not be of any use. So I would request the Prime Minister's office to seriously put apart money. Now that you have said AI for MANAV, you got to really spend money to give MANAV what the MANAV needs.
In fact, sir, before I let you go and before I take in your concluding remarks regarding this AI summit, because India has set the stage, what's next? What's the first step of action that we need to take? And also your thoughts on developing an ethical governance AI, or something that actually, a framework that actually looks at AI moving forward, sir.
What we need to do is make large investments for making this happen, to democratize the AI and make the MANAV get the MANAV AI. It's not going to happen without giving money, without investing money. And government of India must put up the money, state government must put up the money. They must give it to a lot of startups to create those kind of apps, and they must help hyperscalers come up and make sure this is available to everybody. Otherwise, it's just going to be another thought, another great statement by a Prime Minister. So we need that kind of money, we need an action plan. And right now, what government of India has got is very timid. It's not going to achieve what the Prime Minister wants to achieve. The second thing, what needs to be done is to make sure that we retain our digital sovereignty. I'm very worried that all our data will be controlled by the global monopolies, especially looking at what the AI advisor to the White House, Sriram, made a statement today morning, which I read, to say that everything is going to happen in America. America is going to be the hegemon, the greatest country in the world, and the rest of the world are going to be useless. That's not what we want. We want to be the creators. How to become creators? You've got to put money to work. So I'm happy to see Mukesh Ambani make the commitment and Adani make the commitment, $210 billion, Chandra make the commitment, and others, $400 to $500 billion a commitment. We must make sure they all work together, they all finish it very fast, and we need the power. It's going to be power intensive, get the power lines, transmission lines, everything. All that has to come together. And we have to invest 40, 50,000 a year on innovation. Maybe in the budget, we got to put more money. The existing budget does not have enough money to achieve this in a short period of time, because the world is going very fast. And as for bringing in ethical AI and all the nice stuff that Prime Minister spoke about, we need a global compact. In 1948, we had the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now with the UN, we need the Universal Declaration of Digital Rights. What are the digital rights of every individual on this planet? How do you protect the digital rights of all individuals? And how do you make sure that government becomes the guarantor of protection? How do you make sure that we are not thrown to the wolves at the mercy of global monopolies who are going to control us by agreement? And how do you make sure there's no great centralization and we are protected? All the things have to be answered, and it's a global problem. Like the Prime Minister spoke about the global South. Who in the global South? There are hardly any company in the global South which have the capability at scale like America, China have. Which are the countries which can do things like India does? Name those countries. I don't see them. The global South will only remain India and a few other countries. I think it's important to understand that to define what is ethical AI, we need a global compact. If it's a global compact, people will know what it is. People will know what to compare with, and governments can use that to protect people. All of us need protection. For example, today we saw Australia. Some time ago, we saw Australia ban the use of social media and other digital media by young people. President Macron spoke about the need to protect children and said it's a civilization issue, and said he's sure Prime Minister Modi will do it. So we got to work to protect our young children from all this digital onslaught and all the fakes and things that are going on, because they're very vulnerable. And the studies and people saying that the current generation will have less cognitive ability than the earlier generation, and that will be the first time in human history in the past so many centuries that it happens. Because every generation was smarter than the earlier generation, had more cognitive ability. Now they're seeing a reversal. And why they're seeing the reversal, which is dangerous for the future of humanity, because they're all becoming zombies, consuming too much of digital media and being subject to social media, AI, and much fakes. So I think we got to carefully, the issues are all clear before us. We got to take decisions, enforce the decisions, and work towards them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on NewsX.